Well, the Lakers cleaned some things up last night. LeBron's playing way too many minutes. He played 40 again last night. He was sick, so he got no elevation. It's amazing. The guy's in his 20th year. You heard him after the game. You could tell he was sick. Just it had no lift to his game. And here's LeBron out there, giving you 20-plus points. It's 40 minutes. He's playing way too much. The Lakers franchise is at a point where beating the Pelicans at home in overtime feels really big. But that's where we are as a franchise. But there are two things that you should be really happy about, maybe three. Number one, Anthony Davis is back to playing big boy defense. Anthony Davis is a great defender when he's healthy and engaged. He's back to doing that. And Russell Westbrook appears to be willing and motivated to come off the bench. That is a shocking pivot. Now, Westbrook should come off the bench, and he's really built for the bench at this point in his career. What Westbrook is an energy guy. He's currently the only NBA player giving you 15-plus points, 5 rebounds, assists off the bench in the league. And what he does is he always brings energy. His game can be flawed, even when he's missing shots. You get great energy with Westbrook. And last night, the Lakers didn't have a ton of it early, and here comes Westbrook. And he did a great job, and that's what he's built to do. So if rookie head coach Darvin Ham, if he does nothing else all year, gets Russell Westbrook to buy into his role as a first guy off the bench guy, then Darvin Ham is a success as a rookie head coach and should get coach of the year. Because we've seen Westbrook. We know, if you're in this league, if you're in any business for 10 years, we know what you are. Westbrook, lot of intensity, lot of energy. Hyper athletic, not a great shooter, not great hands, and kind of a rigid personality. We've seen him bark at fans and swat at fans. It's kind of a rigid personality. Those kind of personalities are hard to change. Their political agendas, their sports agendas, rigid people. He can be a little rigid. That's his style. That's his game. All right, it's fine. Not the worst thing in the world. But it's very difficult to get rich, successful men in America and say, you know what? Immediately, you're part of the problem. We need you to play in a reduced role. Got to step back at work. No more vice president bonus. That is hard to do in America. Men have a lot of egos. And Westbrook has done it overnight. How many years did it take Carmelo Anthony to come to terms with what he was? He laughed at people who suggested he was a bench player. Russell Westbrook did it in like a week and a half. It's like, whoa, wow. Good for Russell Westbrook. Hey, a lot of people can criticize Westbrook. I said this year I was done criticizing him. I think it feels mean-spirited now, like people are picking on him, the crowd's picking on him. I don't want to be part of that. But we have to be fair. If we're going to criticize people, Los Angeles, I've only lived here 6-7 years. It's a fair city. They love who they love. They'll boo people. But you got to be fair. If players are willing to accommodate team first, are willing to be coachable, are willing to pivot, and are willing to change, then you have to change as a fan. I have to change as a broadcaster. Like what Russell Westbrook is doing is shocking. His personality, I would have never guessed that he, and again, who gets credit? Westbrook does, Darvin Ham does. I found out about a year ago Westbrook's wife's a licensed therapist. Maybe she gets some credit. I don't know. I don't know. What do I know? This is shocking. This is absolutely what he should have done. It's what he's doing. He's doing it quickly, and we have to be fair. If we're all going to criticize Westbrook, and we're all going to say he can't do that and boo him and blah, 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 then we have to be fair when he changes. Because this is not easy. It wouldn't be easy for me if somebody came to me and said, and I rely on my wife all the time, by the way. Whenever I go through career stuff or stuff, I lean big on my family, big on my wife. And so I don't know how Westbrook got to this point so quickly. Whoever's in his circle could, I don't know who it is. Darvin Ham's obviously a big part of it, and obviously Westbrook gets credit. But this is a big thing. If I would have told you a week ago, Westbrook's going to buy in immediately to coming off the bench, and he's going to be profoundly important, he's going to totally accept it, he's going to be totally positive, would you have said, yeah, I can see that happening? No way. No way. But we have to be fair. Now that he deserves to be cheered. He deserves to be applauded. He deserves to be supported. If people, and listen, we have a society now where people won't change. People just make stuff. I'll never watch the NFL because of Kaepernick. You're watching. I'll never pay $8 for Twitter. You will. I'll never do this. I'll never do that. I mean, Westbrook went all in. I am making a huge change and, frankly, a sacrifice for my brand and my Hall of Fame basketball career. And he did it. Like in a week. Got to be fair. We got to be fair. Fans got to be fair. Westbrook's all in. It's impressive. He was great last night. The Packers did not make a deal at the trade deadline. People in Green Bay were not happy, and they want the GM fired, which is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Packer fans are spoiled brats. In 26 of the last 30 years, the Packers have been 500 or better. That's insane. That's insane. In a league where half the playoff teams, do not make the playoffs the following year. 26 of 30 years, the Packer fans have made the playoffs. And these brats go to their social media feeds and Reddit boards, and they want the general manager fired. Folks, this wasn't a hard one to predict. Devontae Adams left. The Vikings got better. The Vikings switched to an offensive coach. Matt LaFleur, I'm sorry, pay attention, is not proven. The special teams have been a mess since he arrived. The defense is underperforming. He doesn't give the ball to Aaron Jones enough. There's no proof he's a great coach. You guys have made him one because he beats the Lions a couple times a year and beats the Bears a couple times a year. He's not winning against good teams enough. They've melted in the playoffs the last 2 years at home at the end of a game. So businesses and trees do not grow to the sky. There are reboot years. Alabama before Saban was a mess. North Carolina is an unbelievable basketball program, arguably the greatest in the history of America. They've had multiple reboot seasons. Tom Brady, by the way, he saw it coming in New England. The league was pivoting to a weapons league. They didn't have any. He bailed. Brady saw the reboot coming in New England. He wouldn't be winning Super Bowls right now in New England. He wouldn't be beating Buffalo in New England. He wouldn't be beating Kansas City in New England. They got no weapons. He couldn't beat Tennessee at home his last game there. You're spoiled. I think that's a great message. I think Aaron's right on the money. I think the team will be better down the stretch post-Thanksgiving, which we predicted because it's a bunch of kids at wide receiver. Aaron's a veteran like Brady. It takes him a while to adjust to young receivers. And I think they'll have a very good offseason because their front office is mostly very smart, though a bit conservative for my taste. But Green Bay this year doesn't look like San Francisco or Philly or, frankly, Dallas or Buffalo or Kansas City, and on some afternoons, Baltimore or Minnesota. They got boat raced by Minnesota. Minnesota looks better. They do. They look better. So Packer fans, acceptance is the key to happiness. Come to terms with it. You've been really good for almost 3 straight decades. This is a 9-8 team. 8-9 team if they don't get healthier. Probably a 9-8 team. Get a couple of breaks down the stretch. Schedule's not easy. Chicago's going to be better. Minnesota just got better. Bears just got better. Yeah, I'm not saying the Bears are as good as you, but they got better. Now with Chase Claypool and Mooney, have a chance to beat you. Acceptance is the key to happiness. Come to terms with it. But you're acting like spoiled brats. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.